This program has been made possible by a gift from the estate of Seymour E. Klonick of Chicago, Illinois.
Individual education is a system of schooling designed to prepare children for life. And in life, good social skills are necessary to cope. This is why the individual education curriculum contains a socialization component as well as academic and creative components. The socialization program takes up a full third of school time and is the only part of the curriculum which is mandatory. It is mandatory because we believe that the development of good social skills are essential to the development of a good self-concept. We believe that children want and need a sense of belonging to a closely knit group, and that how they learn to interact with others will affect all aspects of their lives. The individual education curriculum includes a number of activities in which children learn to feel good about themselves and about other people too. There is also a disciplinary system which ensures that the children will treat others with respect and will also be treated with respect themselves. Most socialization activities take place in the child's homeroom under the direction of the teacher advisor. The interaction between the teacher advisor and the children must be warm and open, since this relationship sets the tone for other relationships which will emerge. To ensure that the child feels comfortable in the classroom, all students are allowed to choose their own teacher advisor.
I think we're going to go to the zoo.
At Queen Mary School in North Vancouver, as at all other individual education schools, the first period of the day is reserved for the socialization program. This is the homeroom period. It is a free period in which the children can play games, talk informally, and generally relax. The goal of this playtime is to start the day happily and calmly. During the homeroom, the teacher advisor acts as an equal among equals. It's an hour when she can relax and have fun as well. She does not try to control either the noise level or the kinds of activities that the children choose. This is an exercise in democracy.
Don't help her now. I need some help here. Got you, Rachel.
See that?
The children are learning how to deal with each other and how to solve relationship problems. They are learning to trust adults. They are discovering that school is a pleasant place to be. The children select their homeroom because of their rapport with the teacher advisor, not because of their age or academic standing. As a result, each homeroom will contain a variety of age groups, and the atmosphere established will be similar to that of a large, warm family. Class meetings are held once a week. The meetings give the students an opportunity to plan class activities or voice concerns. The students learn communication skills and democratic problem solving. Usually, one of the students will act as a group leader, and the teacher participates as an ordinary group member. Because socialization activities are mandatory, the students must be present in the classroom for the meetings. However, they do have a choice as to whether or not they would participate. This student has chosen not to, and that's all right with everyone else.
Anybody who has anything to discuss, please raise their hands. Akifa?
I want to go to the zoo.
Okay, maybe you can have a vote on that. Who would like to go to the zoo? Please raise their hands. Who would not like to go to the zoo? I think we're going to go to the zoo.
In addition to the regular class meeting, every child must join a small discussion group which meets on a weekly basis with the teacher advisor. The students organize these groups themselves.
Individual education school, we have a lot of discussions. So we're going to start to have weekly discussion groups. It's going to mean that you need to break into groups of from 5 to 8 people. I'm going to give you about a week to organize your groups. I will need you to make a list of the names in your group. and so that I have that record. And also, when you bring me that list, we will decide at that time what afternoon and what time we can meet. Are there any questions? Yes, Pearl?
Do we have to?
Yes, every person must become a member of a group, but you don't have to participate or be part of the discussion at any time you don't feel like being.
What does participate mean?
Participate. It means to become involved in your group discussion. You can choose not to become involved if on a particular day you don't wish to.
Can my friend in a different homeroom be in my group?
No, it's just our homeroom group that are going to be involved in these particular discussions. Are there any other questions?
What's the purpose of this discussion group?
Well, the purpose is for us to get to know each other better, for me to get to know you better, and for you to get to know me. It's a way we can have method that we can use to deal with problems that you might be having with your friends or family or in the school. You can raise some of these questions or issues in the group, and it'll be, if in your interest you would like me to bring this to the staff or to the principal, if there are questions about the school or about the program that you feel are really important, that need to be brought to the attention of those people, this is a way that we can do that. This is a method that we can use. So these discussions are wide open. They're a vehicle. We call this a vehicle for which, or by which, you people can give your input into the program. Perhaps there are some things that need improving in the program. This is a way that you can do that, to make your suggestions or your feelings known.
Although it's important that children learn how to form groups, the faculty makes sure that no child is hurt or feels left out.
Can I be in your group?
We've already got our group set up. I might go see it this weekend. Is it a good movie? Yeah. Okay.
Hi, I'm Rachel. Can I join your group?
Sorry, we have enough people already.
What is it, Rachel?
I've been really trying to find a group to come in, but I can't seem to find anybody.
Oh, what groups did you ask?
I asked those girls over there and those girls over there, and they both refused me, I guess. They didn't like me.
Oh, no, it's probably because they don't know you, Rachel. Would you like me to speak to some of the groups?
Could you?
Oh, yes, I will. There'll be no problem. We'll get you into a group.
Have you seen Tootsie?
Yeah, that's good. Excuse me,
I
girls.
want to see it.
I just wanted to speak to you for a moment. You know the new girl in school? Well, she's having difficulty in joining one of the groups. And I'm wondering, how many are there in your group?
We've got 4.
4. Well, that's, quite, not very many. That's quite a few in your group. How about taking her into your group? She's quite a nice girl.
I don't know. Maybe. Should we? I don't mind. It's okay. She can come in.
That's very nice that you're going to have her join you. She's really a nice girl, and you'll get to know her that way.
So that new girl, Rachel's in our group now.
No, taking her in.
Yep.
Oh, that did again.
There's Rachel. Rachel. Hi, we've decided to have you in our group.
I'm Parn.
I'm Hazel.
I'm Pearl.
And I'm Snell.
Oh, thanks.
How?
The relationship between the teacher advisor and the student is strengthened by a monthly conference, which is held to go over the child's progress and to discuss other issues if necessary.
But you know, Jessica, I was looking at your arithmetic one, and I see here that you have been missing your arithmetic, that you haven't been going very often. Is there a problem with the arithmetic?
Yes, the teacher is awfully mean, so I don't feel like going to class.
You find a problem getting along with the teacher in the class? Do you know how important arithmetic is, Jessica?
No.
Do you know that you need to know a lot of things in arithmetic to be able to learn things further on in school and for when you're grown up too? Do you think maybe you could try to go to class? Is there
No.
too big a problem?
There's too big a problem.
Where else do you think you could learn the arithmetic then, Jessica? Where could you go to learn the things you need for arithmetic if you don't want to go into the math class that you're assigned to?
I don't know.
Do you think you could try working in another classroom?
Maybe.
Do you think maybe you could do some work in the library in arithmetic?
Sure.
Have you talked to your parents about not wanting to go to arithmetic?
No.
Do they know that you haven't been going?
No.
Do you think maybe you should talk this over with them and see if you can work out something?
No.
You don't want to do that?
No.
Okay, well, from the suggestions that I've made, what do you think you'd like to do to help you get ahead with arithmetic?
I'll go to the library.
Okay.
In an individual education school, children are responsible for their own learning. The teacher advisor does not tell the student what to do. Instead, she helps Jessica solve the problem herself. It is the student's choice to work independently in the library and to seek tutoring from another teacher. The teacher advisor does not report the problem to the parents. During the year, she will try to help Jessica find a way to communicate her problems to her family.
Find some ways of helping you to like arithmetic.
We permit every child to select a faculty member to be his or her teacher advisor. And that means every child can, in effect, select his or her own school parent. This school parent becomes the central person for that child as far as the child's education is concerned. The school parent, and I'll use the word she for the school parent, the teacher advisor, sees the child every day in what we call the homeroom. That's the first period of the day. And in this room, there is no curriculum. It's a free-flowing period where the adult and the children interact as equals. Of course, the teacher, under an emergency situation, takes over as a responsible adult. Then this teacher advisor meets with children once a week for a small discussion. Again, there's no program, whatever they feel like talking about. In this way, she gets to know them well, and they get to know each other very well. And finally, or the major element that she's involved in is a monthly meeting, a one-to-one meeting with every child. The specific purpose is to go over the child's academic record. We have what's called a progress chart. That's a time where they can also interact. This person, the teacher advisor, is also the main person that the parents deal with. Now, one unusual and very important element in a school, let's say that runs from kindergarten through 8th grade, the teacher advisor may get a child like this, and that child may stay with her over the years and have that same child for 8 years, so they really form a bond. So this is this is a big element of individual education, socialization program.
The discipline system at an individual education school ensures that both faculty and students are treated with respect. Everyone knows in advance what the rules are and what will happen if the rules are not followed. The system seems complicated at first, but is actually simple to carry out.
Students, during the past week we've been studying legends, and one of the things we're going to be doing is writing our own legend during this time. Brad?
If a student is disturbing other people in the class, the teacher simply points him out of the room. The student must leave the room and count to 5 before returning.
Some of the legends in our own area are quite interesting. The Northwest Coast Indian legends mostly have to do with animals, and some of the animals you know quite well. They are the animals of our area.
If the student continues to disturb the class, the teacher may give the stop signal. The raised palm means that the student may not return to class for the rest of the period. He must go to a supervised area such as the library or a study hall. Failure to do so immediately results in a check which is written into the student's record. At the beginning of each year, the discipline system and the consequences of receiving checks are explained to the
And I
students.
see some new faces too. We're going to do an orientation time for a couple of days to go over the program again to help those of you who were here before remember, and to help the new boys and girls learn all about individual education. At Queen Mary, we have 3 school rules. The first rule is that you must do nothing that is dangerous or damaging to yourself, to others, or to property. Rule number 2 says that you must be supervised at all times or en route to a supervised place. And rule number 3 says that if you are pointed out of the classroom for disruptive behavior, that you will leave immediately and silently. And the way we do that is by using the point out. Are there any questions?
What are the supervised places in the school?
One of the places is the library, Asifa. Another one is the media center, and then any other classroom. You can go to any classroom to be supervised. Another place would be the principal's office. Yes, Karen?
What does en route mean?
En route means that you're on your way to one of the supervised places. When you're en route, there should be no talking at all. You don't hang around the halls. You just move very quickly and quietly to the area that you're going to be supervised. Any other questions?
Can I come back into class if I'm pointed out?
On a point out, you can come back immediately. If you get stopped out because you've continued your disruptive behavior, no, you cannot come back. Yes?
If I talk in class, may I be sent to the office?
No, you can't be sent to the office, but you can be pointed out. If you're talking, it's keeping people from learning and studying, or the teacher from teaching the lesson. So you just get the point out. You know, when you're pointed out, you may come right back in and have a new beginning. But if you're disruptive at that time, and you continue to do that, you get another point out. If the disruption continued, you get a stop sign like this. And that would just say, I really don't want you in the class anymore because you're disturbing the learning atmosphere. We want everyone to be able to learn. Any other questions? Let's look over here and see what happens when you do break a rule. All right, when you break a rule or violate one of the school rules, you get a referral. And you take that referral, it's a written form, and you take that referral to the office the first time you break a rule. Same thing at the second time. What happens there is that the principal will ask you if you really did break that rule. And if you agreed that you did, he then records it on your discipline record form. After the third violation, a conference is held with your teacher advisor, your homeroom teacher, and you. And you then try to do some problem solving to see if you can keep from breaking the rules. At the fourth violation, you go to the office again, and the same with the fifth. By the time you break the sixth one, the consequences are that you do have a meeting with the principal, your homeroom teacher, and your parents. Seventh time, it's the office again. Eighth time, the office. Now, every time that you break a rule, it is recorded on your record sheet, and then it goes back to the classroom. And the teacher also records it into your homeroom folder. And then when you're having your advising time with your teacher, you can discuss other ways of problem solving and working out ways of not breaking them. If you break the rule 9, 10, and 11 times, you're suspended. Does anyone know what it means to be suspended?
No.
Yes.
You don't come to school for a limited time, like for a day or
That's right. That's right. That's what suspension means in most schools. At Queen Mary, what happens is the day that you break the rule, your ninth rule, you go home from school that day. And then you are, usually you go to your room and you may read or you may study, but it's not a time to play It's not a time to visit with friends. It's a time to think about ways of solving the problem of breaking rules. And the same thing happens at the 10th and the 11th breaking of the rules. When you break the rule the 12th time, the discipline committee meets because they might feel that you might not feel comfortable at our school, that perhaps you might do better at another school. Now, if you're really trying hard to work at Queen Mary, but you just seem to get into trouble, we might find other ways of helping you solve the problem. But there is a meeting at that time to discuss whether you should remain at Queen Mary or not. Are there any other questions? Yes?
If I have 6 violations, do my parents have to come?
Yes, they do. One of the consequences of breaking the rules 6 times is that your parents come to do some problem solving with you, to find out perhaps why you're having the problem in breaking the rules, and to find ways to help you not break the rules.
Suppose I'm sent to the office and I didn't do anything.
If you feel that you got a referral that wasn't a fair one, you can discuss that with the principal, and you can do some problem solving at that point.
The individual education system of discipline works because it is not arbitrary. Both faculty and students can see that it is fair. The rules are clear, and set procedures are followed in every case. A role play of these procedures was performed at Queen Mary School. After the 3rd check, the principal and homeroom teacher confer with the student.
Well, Brad, this is the 3rd check conference, and I noticed here that you've had 2 fights with Tommy. He's much younger than you are, and you've really pounded him. And you've also refused the goal signal by just sitting there challenging him. And I'm really disturbed that you received them so fast and so quickly. Do you have anything to say about it?
No.
Do you want to stay at the school? This might not be the right school for you.
No, do you want to stay at the school?
Marlene, have you?
Well, we've talked during homeroom time, and we even set up a special time to talk about the fact that Brad seemed to be breaking the rules very quickly. And we tried to look at ways that he could keep from breaking the rules. But it seems that when he gets upset, when another child goads him, that he just doesn't take time to think about his actions or to take responsibility for his own actions. And we've been talking about ways that he can do that, but it appears that it hasn't happened yet.
Well, Dad, you know, we've had this conference now, going over it. You have to be aware that you still have some chances to be within the school. You said you want to stay here. I mean, that's very important.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, you got a chance to prove it.
At the 6th check, the principal and homeroom teacher meet with Brad and his parents.
Marlene Baker, you're here because Brad has broken the our rule 6 times now. Did you know?
No, I thought he was just doing fine in school. I had no idea at all that he was.
Yeah. Well, let me go over what has happened so you clearly understand. The first week, he had a fight with Tommy on the playground, and they punched each other a couple times before the supervising teacher came on, and then, of course, he received a check, and I recorded it, and Brad agreed with it at the time that that's what happened. Mm-hmm. But he did blame the other boy, but he said he certainly was involved in the fight. And then in the second week, received another one, and with Tommy again, another fight. Do you want any comments? Are you having difficulty with Tommy?
Yeah.
You told me that tonight. But there was a fight again, and I had to record that. So rule number 1 was broken. You know, you understand our 3 rules. The first rule is that you do nothing dangerous and damaging. That's the first rule violation. And the second rule violation is if you leave the school grounds, you're not under supervision, under direct adult supervision, then you've broken our second rule. And the third rule is that if a teacher points at you at the door, you must immediately and silently leave that room. You can go to the door and count to 5 and come back. But if you get the stop sign, then that means you cannot come back to that room for the rest of the period. Mm-hmm. Okay? Those are the 3 rules. Very simple, very direct. So you recall that during the parenting conferences, the parenting evenings that we've had, we've talked about those 3 rules. Right. Oh, the third week here, Brad was in the street during school time, and he wasn't in school, so that was a violation of Rule 2. Then he got in a fight with Mary, and then finally, he was in the street again, the second time. We had to point out to him that he wasn't under supervision during school time. I see this upsets you, Mrs. Buzek, with him. And finally, that we've got another fight with Tommy. So he's had 3 fights with Tommy, 1 with Mary, and then twice he's been off the school ground without supervision. Anything to say, Brad? It's accurate?
No.
Are we happy? Right. Well, my intent this time is to tell you that for the next 2 times, the next 2 checks he gets, all we will do is record it. But when he gets to the 9th check, I will be phoning you at home on this phone number that I have and asking you to pick him up so he can be taken home silently. You're not to berate him or be angry with him. And that he is to go home when you come here. Be very silent. Give him the silent treatment, in other words. And that he is to go to his room and to think about whether he wants to stay in the school. And the way he can break that, by the way, to indicate that he doesn't want to stay in the school is by turning on a TV set or saying, I'm not staying in my room, I'm leaving, and so on. And that will give us a sign that he really does not want to be here. And then we will have to make some accommodation for him in another school. It could be a Westview school, someplace like that. They're all within easy walking distance. Dad, do you still want to continue?
Yeah.
You do. Why? Can you tell us?
I like the system, and I like all the teachers here.
The choices you have and so on. Right. Well, that's the kind of thing that will happen when you get to the 9th check. You'll have to decide that whether it's worthwhile to continue or whether it's not. And if it isn't, you'll have to leave. Mr. Buzek, how about you? Do you feel that it's worthwhile?
I don't know. I know that he's been fighting a little bit around the house and a little aggressive, but I didn't know you were fighting in school all the time.
Okay.
What's going on?
Marlene, do you have anything to say about how Brad's been acting? Perhaps you should enter into it.
Well, we talked during when he'd broken the rule 3 times at our 3-rule conference, and he said that he was really going to try not to let those things happen, but it seems that he hasn't thought hard enough about the consequences.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll be working out ways and talking during our advising times again about ways that he could keep from breaking the rules.
Okay. So you've got lots of help, Brad. You know, you can go to Marlene. You certainly come to see me. I get a feeling that your dad and mom are also willing to help. We'll work some of these things out. But at the 9th check, you will be going home.
The principal receives a report from the school consultant. She is part of the discipline committee, which meets after the 12th check.
I understand the discipline committee met.
Yes, we met this morning, and Brad was the child that we were meeting about. As you know, the staff all discusses the various parts of the check system that he's gotten. And the staff feels that he really isn't adapting to the system. They feel that he doesn't show any initiative in trying to change, and that perhaps it's not the best system for him. So the committee has voted that their recommendation is that Brad be helped to transfer to a different school.
Okay.
That's the committee recommendation.
That's based on his 12 checks that he's received.
That's right. And they went over it very carefully. He came to the committee meeting and we discussed it. It just doesn't seem like there's a willingness on his part to adapt.
Okay, I'll take that into consideration here. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Brad, you've had 12 checks, and you remember that you met with the discipline committee, with your teacher advisor, and they made a recommendation to me that you should be going to another school, and the school they suggested was Westview School. I've thought about it. What do you think about that, their recommendation? What do you think about it, what they said, that you should be going to Westview School?
No, I don't think I should be going to this school.
You don't want to go?
I don't want to.
Mm-hmm. Why not?
Because I like the school better and I'll be good.
You understand that you can't just say that with words. We do that with actions too, don't we? And that's why the checks keep track of your actions. It doesn't seem like you've been working at it too hard. You know, you got the checks and you keep getting checks. We had a conference at the 6th time you had a check, and you said, I'll be good, and I won't break the rules. And now we're 6 checks more, and you still been breaking it. Wouldn't you say you want to leave the school?
No, because I know now I want to be good.
Okay. What we'll do, Brad, is I'll give you another chance for one more, okay? And if that happens, then we'll talk about it again, okay? Brad, last week we agreed to meet again if you received another check, and you did. You know, now you're at 13 checks. And my recommendation, well, what I will do is talk with your parents, and I'll ask you to leave the school.
But I can't. I'll get in trouble by my dad.
What will your dad do?
He'll probably hurt me.
Brad, you had that to consider, and you know, you're going to Westview School. What I certainly can say to them that you can work in that school, do your best, and then come back to the school next year. But in the meantime, you have to leave. How do you feel? Still upset?
Yeah.
Does that, what can you do about it at Westview School?
Do better than here.
And?
Don't fight.
Well, it's one of those choices. With the intent of coming back if you want to in the fall?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, that's your choice again. And you can only come back if you do your absolute best at Westview School and you do your work and all the rest of it and don't fight and so on. That's the only consideration that I will take when you come back. I will not take you back if you continue fighting as you have been at this school.
Okay.
The final step is to find another school which will accept the student. The two principals confer.
That would suit your school. Well, Claus, I came by here today wondering why you want to send us this kid to our school. I got enough problems without this kid coming to my school.
Well, we'll talk about some of your problems in a minute, but this particular boy, as you know, within our system has reached the 12 checks. And in my opinion, after consulting our discipline committee, that he would be better off if he was in your school. He is within walking distance, so it's easy for him to walk to your school. That's one of the reasons for the choice. Secondly, his parents, and after discussing it with him, they feel that he would be better served if he was in your school. Now, as far as enough problems in your school, you might have some students in your school that you might want to send to us, and perhaps we can talk to them. Are there any that you might have? That
Oh, yes, we have a student that would suit your school.
Have you had any kind of discussions about a program with the parents and the students?
No, we haven't.
Would it help, perhaps, if you started that process, and then I could talk with the parents and the students, too, and tell them that perhaps for that particular student, or others that you might have, that our school would be better suited to help that child.
Many students who don't adapt to the discipline system of a traditional school will do well in a school where they are expected to take the responsibility for their own behavior. This principal has agreed to accept a student he knows has been a behavior problem. In return, he will transfer a student who is having problems, but who might benefit from the individual education system. As you can see from this dramatization, there is a set of procedures which allows teachers and students to deal with problems with a minimum of stress, recrimination, and confusion. And in most cases, strategies can be developed to help the student adapt to school. A child's point of view is always respected in an individual education school. A child who does not agree that he has broken a school rule has the right to contest the check, as this student from Forest Park School in Illinois is doing.
I think what happens is you made a lot of mistakes early, and maybe today you forgot. I don't know.
Yes, but,
Do you want to stop getting checks?
yeah.
Can
But
get-
I wasn't chasing Billy. It may have looked like I was chasing Billy, but I was not chasing Billy.
Sounds like you're really convinced that you weren't doing it.
Yeah. I'm not sure that you were so clear on what you saw, Amy. Because I was not chasing Billy.
Had you said something to Billy to make him run?
No.
Why do you think Billy ran?
Because he's scared of me.
So you have somehow made him scared of you.
Mm-hmm.
You think that's good?
I never liked him much anyway, but I really don't think it's good. But it was the check. When I got the check, it wasn't my fault. If I was chasing him, I would have been running at him.
What was he doing that was considered dangerous, damaging?
What I thought Jason was dangerous was that Jason was chasing Billy.
But you just said he wasn't running. So how can he be chasing him?
Well, I didn't see the actual running, but I saw Billy running from Jason. I guess then in that case it was my assumption that Jason was going after.
So you're not really clear whether he was running or not?
Whether Jason was running, no. I didn't see him running.
Then I'm not going to mark it. Even though I think you may be getting away with something.
This conference is a good example of how the 4 goals of the IE program, responsibility, respect, resourcefulness, and responsiveness are met.
I see. Sounds like we need to get together and get some clearance on what's okay and what's not okay. Poking people with a pencil, I don't think we need to explain that. Do we?
Well, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Say we like it pointed out in language arts,
Yeah.
right? And we can't go into the library.
Yeah. Did you try seeking another class?
No, I didn't.
Who's your homeroom teacher?
Amy?
If you talk to Amy and you say, look, I made this agreement, I can't go in the library and media center, and you ask for her help, do you think that in those situations, if you get pointed out a language, she'd let you come into her class and sit?
Yeah. Maybe.
You think maybe you need to handle it that way?
Yeah.
Otherwise, you end up with no place to go, and that's rule 2. You got to be under supervision if you put yourself into a situation where you don't have any place to go.
But I didn't understand that at first.
That's okay. You can handle it now.
Dr. Raymond Corsini describes the 4 R's to Naomi Serrano, a school consultant.
Understand. The first R is the development of responsibility. Now, a responsible person, in my opinion, is what we say a person who has good character. You know, one you can trust, you know, you'd want as an employee, you'd want as a friend, if you're married to somebody, you'd want somebody who's responsible. And the second R is respect. And this has 2 components. One is self-respect. The other aspect of respect is respect for others. And our system has a very strong component. We don't let any child get away with disrespectful behavior. Then the third R is called resourcefulness. This really goes into capability. This is more where the academic and the creative programs come in. And the last one is the most important one. We call it responsiveness. Responsiveness really means social interest, caring for people, having an attitude of love towards everybody. So our system really aims mostly for that 4th R, responsiveness, which means social interest.
This monthly conference between a student and his teacher advisor at Forest Park School provides a relaxed environment for the discussion of problems.
Are you going to go that high? Are you going to get 12 checks?
No, I'm going to stay down to the checks I get.
How many do you have now?
7.
And you want
I'm
to stop there?
And I'm going to keep that low.
You've helped out in the homeroom, help other people solve their problems, and now I think they really want to help you.
I want to stay here until I'm finished with all the grades in the school. And when I have kids of my own, I'm going to sit them here. Like they start off in kindergarten, they go to first, they go to second grade. When they get up to Jefferson, then they transfer to high school.
Think Jesse will still be here?
He might be old.
But he might still be here.
Yeah, he might be the same old Jesse.
The same old Jesse? That's good.
The individual education structure appears to suit minority children as well as those from the cultural mainstream. Edmund Parpart, the superintendent of schools for Joliet, Illinois, comments on this issue.
Well, I think in the beginning, I think some minorities people, because they want a very structured kind of school setting, it may not be very alluring to them in the beginning. But I think that as they come and visit the school and they see the school in operation, that it's as good for minority children as it is for white children. And I think there is some skepticism in the beginning because they might look upon it as having, quote, too much freedom of children, too many kinds of choices, where they might not have that kind of structure at home. And I don't think that's any different than it is for white children. In fact, as you know, my son came here, and I'm a very structured, from my old background, of him maybe having too many choices, of being responsible for his own behavior, for his own education. That's somewhat difficult, I think, for many parents. But as I see their children grow, and as I saw my son grow, that you become to respect their decisions.
Mary Jane Brancato is Assistant Superintendent for Joliet. She was responsible for desegregation. Forest Park School had been racially segregated. In order to draw students from a variety of cultures to that school, it was necessary to offer a program that would be very attractive to parents. The district chose individual education.
And people told us that it wouldn't work. We knew that we had to make it work because if that didn't work, then we would have some problems with the desegregation. I don't think we ever doubted that it would work. Some of the growth that we've seen the program refined, we've seen that the burden of selling it is taken off of us now because we've got a parent group that will, by word of mouth, is our greatest sales pitch. People will go out, they'll talk about it, they like their program, they'll defend their program, they'll support their program. I think one of the things that I've seen that I didn't expect is that parents take it unto themselves. The program itself changes your life and the way you approach things. And once that's internalized, that's kind of a byproduct. We always deal with kids, but for the first time, we've really developed some skills in parents.
Most parents are very supportive of the individual education discipline structure. Parents Frank and Diane Busak talk about the changes in their child since their school adopted individual education. Queen Mary School consultant Naomi Serrano agrees.
If you walk down the halls now, the kids are smiling and friendly. There's none of the fear and the watching to make sure that you're not going to be breaking a rule or anything, because there are none of those rules. The rules here we've covered are very simple and basic.
We've seen quite a few changes. When we first came here, we spent a lot of our time and energy as a staff dealing with discipline kinds of problems, and also self-concept kinds of problems, where, as Frank said, the child wasn't respecting themselves and therefore not respecting each other. Now that has changed a lot, and the children are just being in the hallways, being with the children. You can see and feel that difference in the children. There's a mutual respect that happens between them. You know, that doesn't mean that it's perfect all the time. We still, you know, there are still confrontations and times when children disagree. But they have new skills now for dealing with that. And also a new feeling that it will get dealt with. So, for example, when Diane was talking about Sandy a bit earlier, when he used to get in a confrontation, he would be angry and fight immediately. And now I have heard him myself say to a child that he was angry with, stop, we've got to talk about this.
In summary, the socialization program is designed to help children develop positive relationships with other people. 1/3 of the individual education curriculum is devoted to activities in which the children learn social skills which will allow them to lead successful lives. The socialization program is supported by a disciplinary system which reduces negative interaction and ensures that school will be a pleasant place to be.
This program has been made possible by a gift from the estate of Seymour E. Klonick of Chicago, Illinois. This program has been made possible by a gift from the estate of Seymour E. Klonick of Chicago, Illinois.
The curriculum of every individual education school has three components: the academic program, the socialization program, and the creative program. The creative program is offered every afternoon during a 2-hour block. It has been operationally defined by Dr. Raymond Corsini, the founder of individual education, as anything which does not fall within the academic curriculum or is not part of the socialization curriculum, but which students want to learn. Of course, students will learn academic facts and socialization skills at the same time as they are learning about computers, or cooking, or bicycle repair, or even hockey. But the most important role of the creative program is to instill in children a love of learning. The creative courses are active, fun, practical, and relaxing educational experiences in which children find great pleasure in learning.
No, how about 55?
Now, want to try math?
0. No, we don't need them. What? What? What did it say? How many advertising signs?
The computer course at Forest Park School in Illinois is one of some 200 different creative courses taught at individual education schools.
You did the last one. I know.
Now we get
18 glass. Oh, ooh, golly. Oh, your price was better. Told you. Let's try for 5 cents this time. Now watch this. Yep. Now watch. We'll make 5 times 100. We'll make $5 off this. 42 clip. Watch.
Jazz hands. Remember, your fingers are open and you're shaking them. And you're moving your feet to the side. Open those palms up. Let me see your hands, Angie. Open them up. Shake them.
Courses may be taught by teachers, by parents, by adults in the community, and even by students. Courses may be offered once only for a limited time period, or they may run continuously.
Up. To the side. Down. Up, down, up, down, up, down.
The kind of courses offered will depend on what the faculty and parents would like to teach, what the children want to learn, and what the principal approves. The faculty from Forest Park Individual Education School meet before each 6-week semester to discuss possible creative courses.
And what they learn in the afternoon. They can see that application of those academic skills going on in their courses. Doesn't mean that it has to be turned into camouflaged academic courses. That's not what I'm asking at all. Just that children can see the relationship, to the real world.
Okay, I'd like to do something with cooking. Somehow.
Okay, so your broad category is cooking.
Mm-hmm. Another direction might be with ingredients in science, somehow, relating it to science.
Chemicals,
yeah.
ingredients.
Mixing.
Food sources, like animals, plants, what other things?
I would like to talk to some parents about coming in and teaching creative courses, because usually what they do is they come in like for an hour, a double block of an hour, But since we're going on these half-an-hour blocks of 40 minutes, what we'd be asking a parent to do is to come 2 days a week for a shorter amount of time. So maybe we need to talk to some parents, and it would help on our number situation. If 2 parents would want a team, so one would come Monday and one would come Wednesday, and they could plan together, so there would be some communications between them. Because I feel that the parents have worked very well.
The students also have input into decisions about which creative courses will be offered. In every homeroom, the teacher advisors try to find out what the children want to learn. An attempt is made to meet their requests. If the teacher can't be found to teach a course which the principal has approved, someone outside the school will be brought in.
And sometimes it's hard for us to come up with different ideas on what to teach, because sometimes we don't know what you'd like to have us teach. What do you like to learn about? So that's what we're going to be discussing today.
Like mazes and crossword puzzles?
Ski diving, latch hook, a stunt person, tennis,
Stacia?
a news reporter,
Christina?
movie making, baseball.
It looks to me like we have many different kinds of courses up here, and it sounds like you have a lot of variety in the different kinds of things that you would like to have us do. Let's try to categorize these ideas. What do I mean by categorize?
Under it.
Okay, it's sort of like think of a certain subject and then list all of the courses that are in that subject range under it. Rather than relisting, what I'll do is I'll just put numbers next to each thing. Let's say for number 1 we have sports. So, let's pick out the sports-related courses, okay? Where are we here? Just PE would be, I'd say, sure.
Soccer, gymnastics.
Excitement is high on the day students sign up for creative courses. There's obvious enthusiasm for getting involved in some of these classes. In most individual education schools, creative courses are offered in 6-week blocks. A lottery, based on month of birth, is held to determine which students will get their first choice of courses. When the next session arrives, this group moves to the end of the choosing roster, and children from the second birth month drawn then have their first choice. This process continues throughout the school year.
When we go in today, I'd like you to go in that way, okay? Remember the rule about running. November. Go.
That's the best we've ever.
Sally wants Future Shop. Tony wants Athletic Incorporated.
You know the reports are expected of you.
Yes.
You're going to do them.
Yes.
Okay. Because if the reports are not complete,
Really big.
but we got to talk about that. Hold it, Daniel.
I think it is first. Excuse me, teacher. Yes? Excuse me, teacher. Star Wars is now closed.
What have you signed up for so far?
See,
You
time
got,
limits, we got trail, we got Spanish.
okay, Spanish. That's Jesse.
Spanish?
Future Shock is Vanessa. I don't know, is Spanish still open?
Yeah, it should be, I think. I don't know. I don't got nothing good from Friday. I wanted cooking.
Yeah, but it was closed?
Both of them are closed.
Yeah. So what are you going
I
to
just
take?
barely got Jim Jam. I don't know.
What are you going to take if you can't take cooking?
I might get this one. That's good.
In some circumstances, children might find that learning a language was a dreary process. In an individual education school, languages are part of the creative program, and they are taught in a manner which the children find fun. Games are used in the Spanish class.
Batter, and the first person in line must turn toward me. Okay, ready? All right, for a home run. Yo veo el pato.
I see the duck.
Right, home run.
Do I go running?
No.
I don't want to. Still got the lead.
All right. Woody for a home run. Yo veo la vaca.
Duck?
No, Angela.
I see the cow.
A lot of kids in the creative courses emerge as very successful and very competent, and they aren't that way in a more traditional academic program. And so here's a youngster who now starts to blossom, and the kids now see him differently, his peers see him differently, you know, teachers see him differently. And once we view that youngster in a very different way, you know, then he has a lot more opportunities to come into his own.
Many parents have praised the fact that the creative courses help their children acquire useful information about the world of work and an optimistic attitude towards it. Most of the children in this woodworking class at Queen Mary's School in British Columbia will not become carpenters or builders, of course, but they will all have acquired useful skills. The creative courses often give students a basis for choosing future careers.
Well, anyway, I want to ask you this. I've been wanting to ask you, what would you want to be when you grow up?
Well, to tell you the truth, I would like to study law and everything, some stuff like that.
I want to be a dancer because I like to dance a lot and it's fun.
Why do you like dancing so much? What is important to you?
See, when you like when I be dancing and stuff, it makes you feel good inside and everything.
The goal of the creative courses is to make children feel good about learning and feel good about themselves as learners. Every child should be able to find an area where he or she can experience success. Creative courses can also boost self-concept when the cultural values of the students are recognized through them. Many of the students at Queen Mary's School are native Indians, and so parents and faculty decided to bring in an instructor in one of the traditional native arts, wood carving. Although the native students have a special interest in this area and often some experience, the course has proved popular with all the students.